Hello everyone, this is Lawrence. I decided to make a video of some great jazz album covers and something that just doesn't get recognized too much. Album covers for rock music or popular music, like the Sgt. Pepper's and Rubber Soul, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, are highly regarded, well known, but not too much focus on jazz album covers. And I've been collecting jazz albums for some time now, and I always liked the really cool retro artwork. So I pulled out a number of them, and I'm going to, show off each of them along with making some observations. Okay, this isn't the best camcorder for picking up the colors and all that. It's a Sony. It's a good brand, but it just doesn't pick up the richness and the detail. So when you actually see these album covers, are much better than what you will see on the video. Okay, so let's start off with my favorite jazz album cover of all time. It's not necessarily one of Brubeck's best works, Dave Brubeck's, but it's a good album, very enjoyable. But this album was recorded in 1954-55, and I've always loved it as a great jazz album cover. It's my favorite all-time jazz album cover because it just really captures perfectly of a jazz pianist playing at a nightclub, and one of the beautiful, admiring lady fans is right up at the piano. So we got the young lady here, and she's just perfect in her pose, slanted a bit. And of course, Dave is very happy. And off to the background, we have Paul Desmond, who was part of the Dave Brubeck quartet and was very instrumental in his solo of the classic Take Five piece, his horns, his playing on that piece. So the album is called Red Hot and Cool, and notice the lady is wearing red lipstick, and there's actually a cosmetic company promotion linked to this album. You can go on Wikipedia and read about it. Just look up the album Red Hot and Cool. The album itself, the way it's laid out is very nice. Dave Brubeck, Jazz in Red, the title of the album, High Fidelity LP, but it has the nightclub atmosphere with some of the a patron there and the lights, and you could see the open inside Dave's piano and his fingering, and of course the great photo of Paul Desmond right there. Overall, it's just a beautiful album cover, and my favorite. Let's see if this back is just liner notes, very retrospective type of album for its time. I was extremely lucky to find a great condition copy of this album at a thrift store, which I only paid $1. And I do keep it in a plastic album sleeve because I want to maintain it in this condition. So happy to have that. Okay, we're going to move along kind of rapidly here. I don't want to keep this video long. Another cool cover album, 1 O'Clock Jump, Count Basie. And I like the photography here of capturing a kind of a nightlife there, with, I don't know what you call that type of photography, but how the lights are kind of gone on to round bulbs there, and flashes. Okay, which reminds me of another album by Bob Dylan, his renowned Modern Times. I'll have to hold it better there. You see the kind of blurred imagery there. So I really like that album cover. Put that back. The next one is a double album of another Count Basie, put out by Prestige Records, which is a collection of Basie's work on that label. What I like about this album cover is you could see the players, the band members, the photo there, and let me zoom in. That is what I really call a great photo. It's just showing, unity, kind of a brotherhood of musicians, and they all look great, like they're a team. Okay, this is a gatefold, liner notes inside. So I really like the unity, the brotherhoodship. That photo's great. Here's another one. And this is on the Verb label, Jam Sessions, Norman Grant's Jam Session. Norman was the creator of Verb. It was instrumental in the development of jazz as how he selected the players. You may recognize some of these names if you're not familiar with jazz, like Lionel Hampton, Oscar Peterson, Dizzy Gillespie, those names. But Ben Weber. But all of these are great players. And what this is I love the artwork. Okay. See on the back there, liner notes along with pictures of the players. This is like a jazz jam session, like the clubs the club they're playing has closed for the night, and the musicians just got together and had a informal jam sessions where they weren't playing for the crowds, they were playing for themselves, and was really just improvising and just really jamming out. I mean, this is like a rock album the way they played. A very cool album cover, and it's on Verb, and I'm really happy to have this in my collection. Legendary band leader and drummer Gene Krupa. Love that album cover. There he is in his elements, and right there you could see, the movement of the hand where it's like a blur now. Gene was a legendary drummer, band leader, and this is on Columbia Records. Great album cover of him there in the black background. His name. Another legendary band leader, Woody Herman. Look at Woody there. He's in his element, and he has his band. That them at work. This just a great album cover, and his name in a kind of a reddish orange. Let me take these down. Eddie Condon's Treasury of Jazz. I like the intense look on his face. Like he's really intense on the music, and the guitar comes out nicely. That is really, really cool. This is the quartet, which later became the Modern Jazz Quartet. Okay, great album cover. I don't really need to explain. Love this one. Don Bird and Gaga. I'm not going to pronounce his name. This a great pose, the way they hold their instruments. Jazz Lab, it's called. It's on Columbia. A non-jazz artist, but the woman who's considered the queen of South African music, Maria McBroom, if I pronounce her name right. She is absolutely stunningly beautiful. And it contains the big hit Pada Pada, which was a hit in 1967, I think. And I just love that pose. Just beautiful and stunning. And I have a number of her albums, and I've always enjoyed her work. The Three Sons, great album cover, great pose, laminated. And again, this is on Blue Note, I believe. And one thing I have to mention, these jazz albums and albums for a period of all genres of music, for the times back in the 50s and 60s, liner notes was a big thing. A journalist or a critic would write a liner note for albums, and it contains information about the recordings, kind of retro comments about the artist, what goes into the work. And so liner notes were very big. I kind of wish they would bring them back. Okay, we're getting towards the end. I don't want to keep this video too long. Okay, we're already running 13 minutes. Uptown Duke Ellington. Something a little bit more modern, more of a fusion jazz album. El Dumelo. I can't pronounce his name right. Elegant Gypsy. I love that album cover. It still has the sticker on it, the nice price one, and then the beautiful Spanish dancer there. And on the back, if you flip it over, them sharing kind of a romantic look at each other over a bottle of wine. That's very cool. Here's another cool one. Jazz After Hours. Again, the previous album I mentioned, of the musicians having a jam sessions after the hour, the established closes, and just playing for themselves. Well, this is a great album cover that represents that. The place is closed, they got the chairs on the tables, and the band is just going at it. We're getting into what I call swanky jazz. And this album cover is really cool. Eskine Hawkins Quartet. I mean, you listen to this album, this will have you up and going. This is very uptown, swinging. And look, the ladies are all ready for a night on the town. I just love this cover. And a person who was also big in what I call swanky uptown jazz is Jumpin' with Jonah Jones Quartet. And just a great album cover picture of Jonah there in his element, his showman suit, and a great pose, him clapping, getting ready to clap. One more album I want to show, and I have to run and get it real quick, so bear with me. And thank you for your patience. This won't take long. Okay, I'm coming back to the camera. I have to pull the album out here. Yeah, this one right here. Legendary jazz guitarist Wes Montgomery. Another great album cover. I kind of lost my my stick, which is right here. I mean, look at that. Look at that album cover. Very distinguished looking. Unfortunately, he's holding a cigarette. Montgomery, we lost him in 1968 of a heart attack. Died too young. I guess the cigarettes didn't help. And his beautiful guitar right there. But he just has a distinguished look, a nice pose, how the arms come out, and then the other arm rests on the fretboard. So I love that cover. Okay, to conclude, a lot of people don't associate Frank Sinatra with being a jazz singer, but he was considered in the genre of a jazz vocalist, very highly rated, and he was voted best jazz male vocalist for a number of years in Upbeat magazine. But here's two albums, and these are part of his capital 1950s years, where he really turned the album into an art form, where before you have one or two hits on a record and then the rest is filler. No, he selected songs to create a certain mood for an album, and one of the most famous ones in the wee small hours. I mean, this album is like an ode to late night loneliness. I mean, look at him. He looks very downhearted. His heart's been broken. His girl broke up with him, and he's out there, at night, lonely, cigarette. Great album. And then we go to the opposite of creating a mood. Happy, come dance with me. Look at his, come on, let's dance. Great cover, the two little figures there. Let's see if I can zoom that in. Yeah, you can see it better. Excuse me. So anyway, I just wanted to share these albums cover with you, because with album art, it's more than just popular music we grew up with. It includes other genres of music, and I could make about 5 of these videos, and perhaps I will make more. But your comments are welcome. And if you want to join my YouTube site, please, I would love that as well. I want to welcome you. I mean, I wish everyone a nice day, and please leave a comment. It doesn't have to be long if you want to. If you have a thought that you want to leave. Want to wish everyone a nice day. Have a good day. Bye.